I'm staring at an email from my employer, and it's a response to the $12,000 raise I asked for, which is exactly half of my current $24,000 salary. The message is brief, just 2 sentences. We appreciate your request, but we can only offer a 3% increase this year, which translates to $720. That's not even enough to cover my monthly expenses, let alone the $6,000 I owe on my credit card. You're probably in a similar situation, living paycheck to paycheck, with debt piling up, and feeling like you're not getting paid enough. I know I've been there, and it's a tough spot to be in, but what if I told you that I've found a way to negotiate a higher salary, and it's not as hard as you think? In fact, I've discovered that most employers expect you to negotiate, and they've even factored it into their budget, so if you don't ask, you're essentially leaving money on the table. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to ask for a raise, and what to say to increase your chances of getting it. You'll also learn how to calculate your worth, and how to use that information to negotiate a higher salary. It's not rocket science, but it does require some preparation and confidence, so let's get started. First, you need to know your worth. What are your skills, experience, and qualifications worth in the market? You can use online tools like Glassdoor or Payscale to get an idea of the average salary for someone in your position. For example, I found out that the average salary for a marketing specialist in my area is around $50,000 per year. That's more than twice my current salary. Now, let's talk about how to ask for a raise. It's not just about walking into your boss's office and asking for more money. You need to prepare a solid case, and that includes highlighting your achievements and the value you've added to the company. For instance, I increased sales by 25% last quarter, and I've taken on additional responsibilities to help the team. Those are tangible results that I can use to demonstrate my worth. But here's the thing, most people are afraid to ask for a raise, because they're afraid of rejection. What if your boss says no? What if you're not worth it? Those are valid concerns, but they shouldn't hold you back, because the truth is, the worst that can happen is that your boss says no, and you're in the same situation as before. But what if they say yes? What if you get a raise, and you're able to pay off your debt, and start building wealth? That's a possibility worth exploring, don't you think? So, let's practice. What would you say if you were in my shoes, asking for a $12,000 raise? Would you be confident, or would you be nervous? Take a moment to think about it, because the more you prepare, the more confident you'll be, and confidence is key when it comes to negotiating a higher salary. Now, I want to share a personal story. I was in a similar situation a few years ago, and I was too afraid to ask for a raise. I was making $18,000 per year, and I was struggling to make ends meet, but one day, I decided to take a chance, and I asked for a raise. It wasn't easy, but I prepared my case, and I confidently presented it to my boss, and you know what? I got a raise. It wasn't the $12,000 I was asking for, but it was a start, and it gave me the confidence to keep asking, and to keep pushing for what I'm worth. Drop your biggest debt in the comments below. I read every single comment, and I want to know what you're struggling with, because when we share our struggles, we can start to overcome them, and, who knows, you might just inspire someone else to take action. If you're struggling to make ends meet, and you're not sure where to start, I want you to know that you're not alone. Millions of people are in the same situation, and they're figuring it out. You can too. It starts with taking control of your finances, and being proactive about your salary. Don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth, because the more you ask, the more you'll get. So, what's the next step? Well, I want you to take what you've learned here today, and I want you to start preparing your case, research your worth, highlight your achievements, and practice your negotiation skills. And, most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth, because the worst that can happen is that you'll stay in the same situation. But what if you get what you're asking for? What if you get a raise, and you're able to change your financial situation? That's a possibility worth exploring. If that just clicked for you, hit like. It tells me to keep making content like this, and if you know someone who's struggling to make ends meet, send them this video, because when we share what we've learned, we can help each other out. Finally, I want to tease my next video. It's called How to Pay Off $10,000 in Credit Card Debt in 6 Months. It's a step-by-step guide, and it's based on my own experience. I'll be sharing the exact strategies I used to pay off my credit card debt, and how you can apply them to your own situation, so be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's dive deeper into the world of salary negotiation and explore some specific strategies that can help you get what you're worth. For example, did you know that women are often less likely to negotiate their salaries than men, and as a result, they can end up earning up to 20% less over the course of their careers? This is a staggering statistic, and it highlights the importance of being proactive and confident when it comes to asking for a raise. To give you a better idea of how this works, let's consider a real-life example. Suppose you're a software engineer, and you're currently earning $80,000 per year. After doing some research, you discover that the average salary for someone in your position is actually $110,000 per year. This means that you're potentially leaving $30,000 on the table, simply because you're not asking for it. By negotiating a higher salary, you could bring your earnings more in line with the industry standard and significantly improve your financial situation. Another key strategy is to focus on the value you bring to the company, rather than just your individual qualifications. For instance, instead of simply stating that you have a certain number of years of experience, you could explain how your skills and expertise have helped to drive revenue growth or improve efficiency within the organization. This can be a powerful way to demonstrate your worth and make a compelling case for a higher salary. It's also worth noting that salary negotiation is not just about the money. It's also about the benefits, perks, and other forms of compensation that can add up to make a big difference in your overall quality of life. For example, you might ask for additional vacation time, flexible working hours, or professional development opportunities. These types of benefits can be just as valuable as a higher salary, and they can help to make your job more enjoyable and fulfilling. In addition to these strategies, it's also important to be mindful of the timing and context of your negotiation. For example, it's generally best to ask for a raise during your regular performance review or at the end of a major project. This is when your value to the company is most apparent, and when your employer is most likely to be receptive to your request. You should also try to avoid asking for a raise during times of economic uncertainty, or when the company is undergoing major changes. By taking a proactive and informed approach to salary negotiation, you can significantly improve your chances of getting what you're worth. Remember that negotiation is a conversation, not a confrontation, and that your employer is likely to respect your confidence and assertiveness. With the right strategies and mindset, you can achieve a higher salary and take a major step towards achieving your financial goals. For instance, let's say you're a marketing manager and you've just successfully led a campaign that resulted in a 50% increase in sales. You could use this achievement as leverage to negotiate a higher salary by explaining how your skills and expertise drove the success of the campaign. You might say something like, "I've consistently delivered high-quality results, and I believe my contributions warrant a salary adjustment. Based on my research, I'm asking for a 15% increase, which would bring my salary more in line with industry standards." By using specific numbers and examples, you can make a strong case for why you deserve a higher salary. And by being confident and assertive, you can increase your chances of getting what you're asking for. So don't be afraid to ask for what you're worth. It's a crucial step towards achieving your financial goals and living the life you want. In fact, research has shown that employees who negotiate their salaries can earn up to 10% more than those who don't. This may not seem like a lot, but over the course of a career, it can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. And it's not just about the money. Negotiating a higher salary can also give you a sense of confidence and self-worth, which can have a positive impact on all areas of your life. To give you a better sense of how this works, let's consider a specific example. Suppose you're a data analyst and you're currently earning $60,000 per year. After doing some research, you discover that the average salary for someone in your position is actually $80,000 per year. You use this information to negotiate a higher salary, and you're able to get a 12% increase, which brings your earnings up